start with Jamie from Sky, Roger from PLP, Phil from the BBC will follow on after that. Anyone who wants to do anything at that point can do. That will be under immediate embargo. We'll do a newspaper section. Although I don't think there's any... PA, do you want anything for under embargo? Anyone else? In that case, we won't bother. So we'll just run straight through, no embargo. We'll carry on. Cameron's happy?
Yep.
Shane.
Thanks, Chris. Good afternoon, Thomas. Just want to start with, I'm sure you don't need me to point out the disparity between the home form and the away form. I suppose this is the $1 million question. If you could answer it, you'd be sitting top of the league. But can you put your finger on why that's the case?
No, not really. We don't do too much different to when we play away and home. It's not like we're going super offensive or super defensive or less high pressure. What we try to do more or less the same, of course, with big respect to the opponent and their style of play and the small adjustments. I still think it's still early days, and I think also the run of the away opponents we have had has been part of the reason of why it could be slightly skewed one way. The biggest thing for me is that we actually performed relatively well, if not well, away from home, except the Fulham game. The rest, I think, I've been fairly happy with overall. And I expect we have a good chance to get something out of the game, hopefully 3 points against Villa tomorrow, even though that's a fantastic stadium and fan group, Villa Park, and it's a very good team coached by a fantastic coach.
I think, as you say, the stat is maybe slightly skewed from the fact that you played Liverpool and Manchester City, Manchester and Spurs away from home. But is it in the players' heads at all? Is it a psychological thing that they go to an away stadium and think?
No, I don't think. I'll be a very short answer. No.
And you've announced the club today, I think, is a wonderful scheme to maybe sort of boost your chances away from home even more with this reduced fees for teenagers as well.
Yeah, I'm very happy with that we reduce the prices for our younger fans, home and away. I think it's a fantastic initiative. Can only praise the leadership with Matthew Benham and especially John Varney, our CEO. What they have done there. We want the new generation to really experience the home and away experiences and learn, how can you say, to go to football and have that create a habit. And it's the best game in the world. And to be a fan and follow your team home and away is a fantastic thing. So if that can help to get more young fans to follow the team, it will be fantastic.
It was a really lovely moment on Saturday when you gave Kevin a big hug, and you could see just how happy you were for him as well. What sort of boost will that give his confidence? Because he must have had sort of moments of self-doubt over the last couple of years.
Yeah, definitely. I think we all need some, maybe it's too big to say sliding door moments, but have a moment in life where we got, okay, I'm probably a good footballer. Probably, hopefully knew that anyway, but it's just, this was so good. 3 goals and an assist and his work rate. And on top of that, a fantastic header and another finish. you see that from the greatest players in the game. Very, very few experience to have an experience like that. And that's maybe but in any game in the future, but maybe every 20th or 25th game where you can play a close to a perfect game. But for him, that little bit extra confidence, of course, is so important. We know that for all footballers. I actually spoke with him, of course, after the game the last couple of days and evaluate things and show clips and all that. I asked him the question is, did you do anything different? No. And I'm very, very happy with that. Because the routines and the bits he's done and the games he's played, he's got on the end of a lot of chances. And he's worked hard. And maybe he was just not as fulfilled. Now he got close to perfect performance. It could have been less. The first goal, the second goal, and the third goal, and a lot of good actions. So hopefully we'll continue.
I think also from his point of view, psychologically, and you might say it makes no difference at all, but you could see how pleased all his teammates were for him as well, and that must also full of belief.
But yeah, 100% agree. I think we're not the only club in the world where teammates are happy for other teammates to succeed. But I think I still believe that we have a fantastic good culture, but also a little bit rare culture. They really, really, really care about each other, and you could see that, as you say, with the first goal, where there was really celebrating and cheering, and Mats Jensen was carrying him and lifting him so he couldn't get away, and everyone were coming over, and fantastic. And then the third goal, I thought in many ways were maybe even better celebration. It was Igor Thiago, who was on the bench, who wanted to get into the team. And, Wissa scoring goal, Kevin scoring goal, he was just so happy for him. Fabio also wanted to go, just so happy for him, because they know what it means. So I think that was a fantastic moment. And then another one that you can't see because behind the scenes, but Gustavo came in here the other day, and of course he's not played or trained in this a little bit, coming back from injury and all that, and they just get around him and were shouting and laughing and cheering. So it's good. It's a fantastic group of players.
Just one very final question from me regarding the man in the opposite dugout from you tomorrow night. I think I remember Unai Emery saying that he's often in crack of dawn and still there past midnight, and perhaps even sometimes sleeps at the training ground. Is that sort of workaholic side of him something that you can relate to?
Yeah, no, I've never slept here, but I've been in very, very early most days, and I'm leaving late a lot of days, or change it up. I like to change the environment, or leave and then go home, be a little bit family, and then work some hours in the evening. I think no one is going to achieve any extraordinary things without hard work. Unai is a very hard worker, but I think an exceptional coach. I think he showed that over years. I admire him, and I think he's done a top job at Villa.
Hi Thomas, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Can I ask you about team news? Any updates with Mats Jensen?
Mats Jensen unfortunately got a minor hamstring injury, so he'll be out for Wednesday and unlikely for Saturday, but more than that I don't know exactly for him. The rest should be available.
Aston Villa coming up, I was just looking at your previous meetings with them. They're usually quite eventful, lots of goals, a few red cards and so on. Is there something about the two sides, the way you play, that sort of brings that sort of drama out into these matches?
Good question. I don't know. It was quite a crazy game last time, 3-3. Maybe I think it's two teams who how can you say, fit each other, where it will be quite exciting. There will be chances both ends. Both teams want to take initiative. We probably want to press a little bit higher at times, but they have a fantastic mid-block, but they are fantastic in terms of building, and also very good to go behind. So hopefully an entertaining game with us on the right side of the win, of course.
They haven't been in the best form recently, though, as team as they are. What would you put that down to? Would you say that maybe the added impact of playing Champions League football has had an effect on them?
Maybe, of course, it's not probably a better question to ask Unai about that. I think in this league, there's always a spell where you're struggling a little bit to get all line, to get enough points, and that hits you at least once a year, sometimes 2 or 3 times, and sometimes there's one that can be a longer spell because it's the competition is so relentless, so good, so that can be an issue. And of course, if you get Champions League games on top of that, where it's not like I haven't looked through all their games, but last year I had a feeling in the Conference League that they rested more players from game to game, where here they can only rest 3 or 4, so it's more the same players need to play. So that, of course, has an impact over time.
You said after Leicester was maybe the best performance of the season. Is that now the benchmark, and how do you make sure that your players hit those levels consistently? Because sometimes we'll see a team have a great result and maybe a little drop off the next time round.
Yeah, but hopefully I like us to have a little bit of a unbeaten run. That'll be nice. Nice if we keep going and keep performing every game. My players are very motivated and very ready for Wednesday night. I'm convinced Villa will be the same. They when they haven't won in I don't know how many games, they probably know Brentford at home. On paper, probably a task that where they should do everything they can to get 3 points. And their ambitions, of course, also rising. So now it's only the Champions League places who is good enough for them, while they are also fighting in the Champions League. So, but we will be ready. We believe in ourselves. We believe that we can get a result tomorrow.
And you talked about Kevin Schade before. Has he increased expectations of himself? The new goal machine, secret weapon for you?
Yeah, maybe. I think it's another very pleasing example of us always creating goal scorers, and the ability to be able to continuously scoring goals in this league is a massive thing. We Wissa and Brian on 8 goals each. Kevin coming in 3 goals, boom. Also other players can score, so I think that's very important to have that.
And talking of goal scorers, previous goal scorer here, Ollie Watkins, but he hasn't been getting many for Villa at the moment. Presumably you're looking at it and thinking he still poses as much a threat as ever, even though I think it's 1 in 8 that he's got.
Yeah, no, 100%. Ollie is a top player. I'm very pleased to see his development over the last years, where he's, constantly adding layers. He will score goals again. Hopefully not tomorrow. I wish him to even. He's welcome to be top scorer in the league, just as long as he's not scoring against us.
Just finally from me, you've got a run of fixtures, including this one against a team that are all around you in terms of points and positions. It's all very tight. Is this perhaps the most balanced Premier League that you've seen in terms of that depth of player teams of equal sort of abilities that you've seen in the time you've been here?
Yeah, I think probably right. I think there's a lot of. I think in general there's a lot of the difference between teams are very, very, very even. Yeah, maybe it is. There's not a. There's a lot of teams at the same level that are fighting, and then it seems this season right now, Liverpool is a little bit ahead of the rest, and then maybe 3 or 4 clubs, and then the rest are very, very even. So yeah, maybe it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yep.
Just in regards to Ollie, just going back to him briefly, you just talked about Wiss and Brian, and obviously we know what happened with Ivan, and preceding that was Ollie. Where did he fit? What did he do for this?
Ollie.
From your experience of working with him, you say obviously he's added layers now, but how important was he, and has he been in where the club is?
Oh, very important. He was. I think he was here 3 years, right? 3 years before he left, and the first 2, as we talked about, as a winger, and then we converted him to a striker, where he really flourished, and I really liked him as a striker there, and he was big part of that very good season where we played some fantastic football. Unfortunately, just narrowly missed out on the promotion. So getting us up to that position together with the other players, and then the beautiful thing was that next year we could take the final step. So he's been part of a big part of the journey we've been on.
It's a midweek game, so you've got 3 games in 8 days. What impact does that have on when it comes to preparation, with loading, with tweaking the squad?
I think it's definitely something you need to look into. I think a couple of things. Of course, players can play 90, no problem. It's maybe after that it can be a problem, or it's 90, and then the third game a little bit 90. So it's the balance of using your squad. That can be using subs from taking players off around 70 or 60 or whatever. If you can do that, same tomorrow night, because it's a third game in a week. I think it's the tricky one. This game we had 3 days in between. Villa had 2, but 3 days I think is never the problem. 2, never a problem either, but a little bit more fatigued.
And on Saturday, maybe it's a good example really on Saturday of the depth that you are developing now here in the squad. That I know Matty obviously came out for injured, but Vitali was sitting on the bench, so it's a heat on. But from an offensive point of view, Wissa, Kev, Brian, and amongst the goals, scoring the goals, you look over your shoulder and you can see Fabio on the bench, you can see Igor on the bench as well, amongst others. And you talked about this before, about developing a side and a squad that can grow with the Premier League. Is that part of an example of what you need? You need that depth.
Yeah, we need depth. No doubt about that. I also think it's a good example of we talk about with Dams, but also say Kevin. It takes some time to, and of course Kevin needs to perform more games well, but now it's just such a shining highlight that he scored 3 goals and made an assist. But he actually performed quite well in some of the others, but because he missed the chances, it hasn't looked as good. But those 2 players definitely is more embedded into the team, developed and can now perform for us. But also last year where we struggled with injuries, even actually earlier this season when we played West Ham at home, where Kevin needed to go off with cramp. We didn't have Wissa, we didn't have Igor. We had to play Brian as a striker. That was the only thing we had that game. So to have the strength and firepower coming off the bench, but also to use the squad in terms of have enough how can we say freshness and intensity in every game.
And just finally, although it's been mostly at home so far, there's been maybe circumstances behind that with the schedule. With 20 points in 13 games, it's probably going to lift expectations a little bit, isn't it? Really, people are going to get very excited. 1/3 of the season, 20 points. You're thinking, right, okay, well, where is this going to lead? I mean, you and your team keep your feet on the ground.
Yeah, I'm the very optimistic guy. There's always very positive, and in here I just need to, speak it down. But I have a few good guys in my coaching team in Klaus Nørgaard and Kevin O'Connor, and these guys that are a little bit more leveled. Let's put it that way. And I'm a dreamer, but of course I'm also aware, and I mean it's, and I think it's very important for the fans to dream. And of course, me and the players also need to dream, but we need to focus on the next game and what is just ahead of us, because so many things can change over time. And I think it was a fantastic reminder the 3rd year. I think, was it 15 points? I can't remember when we had 15 points or 16, whatever. There was a stage where we had 15 points after 11 games probably, or 16 points it must have been. It was the same amount of points we had the year before, and then everything fall apart with injuries and all that. And so that was a good example of dream, but don't get carried too far ahead of yourself. And a little bit the flip side was the 2nd year where we had a okay start without being through the roof, and then we went on a 12-game unbeaten run, finished 9th. So focus now, stay in the moment, and enjoy it. Welcome.
Anyone else? Sam?
Just wanted to start on Nunes, Ajer, whereabouts are they?
And Ajer is on the pitch, is progressing, trained with the team yesterday and today, too early for tomorrow. Nunes is further away.
So with Ajer potential for Saturday, maybe?
Could be too early, but let's see. Yeah, do that, yeah.
Then with Kevin Schade, obviously sort of man at the moment. They're all consistent minutes though. We've spoken about this sort of bit. What does he have to do to get those consistent?
Kevin? Score hat-trick and assist every game. Very, very simple. If you keep doing that, I promise I keep playing him. No, he did everything he could do to stay in the team, and very pleased with that performance. It's like, okay, he's definitely front of mind, and then just need to keep performing.
And then from such a monumental high, how is he reacting? How is he sort of in these past couple of days?
I think he's a leveled guy, so he's not It's not him that is the loudest or the one who gets everything going. He's been just doing his bit, training well. So I'm pretty sure that he will just enjoy and be ready to play again.
It's a nice dilemma to have, obviously, with all these sort of options. With Schade, he's quite an adaptable player off the left as well. Where do you sort of see his best position?
Very good question. Of course, I played him through the middle. Against Leicester, I scored 3 goals, so probably a good idea. But also 3 of them was like a little bit that from the left coming inside. No, 2, actually all 3 of them, yeah. So also because we were a little bit flexible with our positions. So I think these days, footballers need to be adaptable, and they sometimes need to play across all 3 front positions, or in general be flexible. And I'll just say he's a goal scorer, and then I just need to find out what fits for him and the team.
So interestingly, you could see him and Wissa sort of interchange because they can kind of play the same position.
Yeah. But also the way we defended, you could see it was Kevin and Wissa together forward, and then he shifted a little bit to the left, and we got Dams a little bit lower to feed them. So they'll be flexible.
And against Leicester, probably actually the best player on the pitch for me anyway was Damsgaard. But against Villa last year, I feel like that was really his sort of coming of age performance. At least I thought he played really, really well. And I wondered if you could just sort of give a few words on his progression over this time, over this sort of 8 months, because he's been excellent this season.
Yeah, agree. I think he that consistency in training, I think is key. Consistency in staying fit, and now us getting the game times. A combination of always him earning it, and then me keep giving it to him. And then the team growing together with him, and I think the team, how can I say, develop and can actually in a way go to a little bit higher level. I think he's a big part of why we're scoring so many goals. Not the whatever 5-6 assists. It's not that. That of course is a good thing. It's the second assist to Kevin. It's the situation where he gets out of a situation that's closed. His quick feet. I think that his football brain, I think, is very important for the team.
What's he sort of improved on in this period? Because I think we all knew that sort of player was there, but to actually then take it on and play that way.
I think a big thing is the physicality. I think the first year surprised him how long time it took for him to get up to pace. Not that he couldn't play 60 minutes, but play 90 minutes and then train the next day hard, and then and then be good, and then feel the energy in the legs, and all that, and that takes time to build. And so unfortunately got that setback as we talked about, the 4 months in the second season. So now it's just been a long time where he's been in a good place, got better habits, learned to be more, not that he was not a 24/7 pro, but they are young people, and they learn every day. So all that added together, understanding his teammates, the role, the crazy coach, all that helps.
And you speak about those habits. It's quite interesting. A couple examples of those habits that you might have improved on?
Definitely training habits. I would say he's training harder. He's done that for a long spell now. I think his gym sessions, what he put into the gym, and his recovery.
Perfect. And then with Damsgaard, sort of in the summer, was there anything that you said to him, or he even said to you, that sort of sparked this change in the way he played?
I would say, I think I probably knew is now he needs to take a step. We talked about that, and of course he also wanted to play, and he also, because now he looked fit and ready, so I could have him a little bit more in my plans. I really like a type like him that helps him. So also giving him a few more chances that maybe others would have had, because you can just see what he can bring to the game, and then it's just everything added up together.
And so it was said to him at the start of the season that this is kind of a pivotal season, a season in which I see you do big things.
Yeah, but part of that, that also that I could see him do big things, but also that he needed to take the step. He needed to do more. It's not only about me giving him the option. So also putting a little bit of pressure, giving the confidence and play, but I always say to him, who is the best at creating chances of scoring goals? And it took a long time to convince him that he had to say it's me. So I think try to boost him and give him the confidence.
And finally from me, on Nathan Collins, obviously that assist for the Schade's final goal.
We actually discussed which assist is the best. Damsgaard for Kevin or Nathan for Kevin.
Considering where Nathan plays, I'd
Yeah.
say Nathan.
Yeah, Damsgaard was actually agreeing, so I asked the two of them. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, the pass is just excellent, and that ability to step up. He's done that a bit for Ireland, actually, playing in the midfield. Was this something that you identified at the start?
That bit was only on him. I will not take any praise for that. That's only on Nathan. I'll just say the only thing we work on with him, and I work on with him, is that his how he uses his abilities on the ball, how he uses his composure. I think it's very good to be composed. When to step, when to walk forward, when to stand on the ball, when not to turn, what passes we're looking for, is it better in behind, all that, to give him guidelines. It's his decision on the pitch. It's through his eyes and his ability, but how can I guide him and help him in the right direction?
So you're putting the guidelines, and then it's his confidence.
Yeah, exactly. And he, it's very difficult. So that pass is not often we see a centre back play that pass. There's nothing you train, but it's more the ability to get him into the right positions. And then in this decision, he just decided to go forward. You're welcome.
Yes.
Hi Thomas. So you did mention a lot about your, especially with the number 9 position, like you have Kevin Schade obviously brilliantly in that game. You got Wissa, you got Mbeumo, but like with issues of fatigue, injury and everything, are you, with the January window next month, are you still looking at a potential to bring in a new potential number 9 to maybe increase the depth? Are you happy with what you have?
I'm more than happy because we also got Ajer Thiago. More than happy. I think we are blessed with good offensive players. Yeah.
We done? We're done. Thank
Perfect.
you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next press will be